Peace, hey everybody. Daniel here. Well, so I'd rather be actually recording this live outside somewhere, or even actually sitting in a motorhome out in the middle of nowhere, like out in the middle of the desert right out here. There's a few places out here. There's a place right out here. Can't remember what it's called. I think it's Crystal Clear Hot Springs. I'm not sure if it is, but it's over here in Oregon. You can park your RV there. I think the rent space on the RV is like pretty good. But there's a hot springs right there. It's a big old pool. And a couple other hot springs there around that area too. Right out here in Oregon, right over here by Bend, Oregon, right? Not too far from here, actually. Cool place to park hot springs. There's a bunch of hot springs this way, which you can't see where I'm pointing to, but if you are facing me and I'm facing you in this room and I'm pointing that way is north, okay? And, well, it's actually right now it's like right that way. East is like right, the sun comes up right over here. Right there, bam, right over here, and it crotches these mountains right over here. It goes, where it goes like that. It came up this morning, look right there. Man, it was beautiful, you should have seen it. Man, the western, I love the western sunsets and I love the western sunrises, okay? Now, I know I lived in the Midwest and I've been around out there and they were pretty out there, but nothing compares to the ones out here, man. I'll tell you what, the closer you get to the ocean, the closer you get to the coast, that way, that's east. I mean west, I'm sorry, I'm a goof. Closer you get to the coast that way over there in Oregon. Oregon's just over yonder over there, it's not too far from here at all. I'm in Boise if you want to look on your maps, you know. Boise, Idaho. Sorry, my eyes are, there's a lot of tree pollen and all kinds of stuff going on here. Cottonwood trees and everything else. And I got my eyes are itching like crazy. Yeah, I doused them, still praying over it. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Open my eyes so I can see you, Lord. Be healed in the name of Jesus. Poof. Believe it or not, that actually feels a little better. Actually got quiet in here too, wow. Okay, so there's noise in this city, and noise right up here at the airport and all this stuff. And it's really cool over here, but you go that way just a little ways, 8-9 hours, and you're on the coast. Well, it's actually 9 or 10, but 8 to Eugene, and then maybe an hour, or not even that far from Eugene to the coast, but you gotta weave your way around to get there, but you can get there. But about 10 hours. You're on the coast cruising around, find yourself a place to park and set your camera up outside and have the ocean, filming the ocean, and you're just singing. You get your microphone over here. See, I got a sound system and stuff so I can set up outside so I can do this. Turn the camera around and do it all at the same time. Do it live even. On this channel, on this broadcasting channel, I can do live. I can do YouTube live. If I was out where I could do it, I could do it. I don't have it set up to do that. Got to get a better computer. Got to get a camera I can plug in too, one that doesn't work off a battery, so I can actually do this. Plug it into the computer, but it still runs off a battery. I need one I can actually plug into the wall, but that's okay, we'll get these things. They'll come in due time, So I was thinking about how we do things in life, Live in our means. Sometimes we live above our means. If we like going to debt, especially, we're living above our means. Trying to anyway. Trying to just make ends meet. Usually is what all America. I know I get around America. I'm a worker. Was anyway until I got really sick and couldn't work anymore. But I do this now for you guys. So I hope you appreciate it. I appreciate you working, and I contribute, healing people and stuff, and spiritual knowledge or whatever I have or whatever I carry is for everybody, and my way of giving back before I pass on, and none of us know how long we have, right? But when you're poor, you dream a lot. So you dream about going over to Oregon, over here to some of these waterfalls that are just really close, but you can't get to because it takes a couple of more tanks of gas than you actually have money for, right? You have a little bit of savings, but you need to have that so that if you're, just in case, you need to have a little bit of savings just in case, at least a couple $100, right? At least, and then there's always something that comes up that, that you use your savings for something, this or that or whatever, you take steps. Sometimes you have to invest. Once you get a little nest egg built up, you can use it to invest and maybe re-strategize and maybe gather in some information that could actually help you bring some money in or something, right? Take a course or, you guys, you know what I mean, right? When you're in your 50s, you can't do anything and you're stuck. You have to find a new way. You hear about this way on the internet. There's a way to do it, right? Yeah, and you're doing it, but you're not doing it. You're producing, but it's not good enough stuff, I guess. Man, I thought my life was worth more than that, but I guess it's not. But maybe it's not about all that. Maybe it's just about what we leave behind, not about what we get, right? Maybe not about how we do it, but how, or like with the equipment is what I mean, like the equipment that we use. Maybe it's a cheaper equipment or something, but it's about what we produce with it because it's our heart, and it's our passion, and it's part of our legacy, When it hits the internet, it's there. There it is. It's out there. Now it's out there in cyberspace, right? Forever and ever and ever in cyberspace. One of my buddies told me that a long time ago. I used to reject the internet. I used to reject computers. Didn't reject cameras, though. Didn't reject phones, but I was rejecting all that. I mean, I was a very divided person, right? He goes, hey, why are you doing that, man? He goes, check it out. And he started teaching me about it. And the way he taught me about the internet, it blew my mind, man. I was so fascinated. I painted, every time you talk about the internet or talk about computers and talk about just everything about it, any of it, it would always paint pictures in my heart of this little cool, you're in a laboratory, and like, the wizard that's in the lab, he's working there, and he's bugging his potions and stuff, and he's concocting this thing or whatever it is, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it can be a good thing, or an architect making a design, or the guy over here, we call, what are those guys called, the pharmacist. They were alchemists, right? That used to be actually outlawed, by the way, back a long time ago, and now, so, the pharmacist, man, I thank God for pharmacy, the alchemists, those guys that were outlawed, that were hunted and killed, and the ones that actually continued on the craft in secret so that we could actually have pharmaceutical medications now, and those pharmaceutical medications are keeping me alive right now. I was dying before I started taking them. I don't like to say this because I hate to say, even admit it, but, when you're poor, and when poor man, you dream a lot. And you go searching for things, you go searching for things that make your life a little better so you're not in your misery. To ease your misery, to ease your suffering a bit, Like the pharmaceuticals from the pharmacy, you go to the doctor, right? You get a prescription, you go to the pharmacy and it gives you some medication and it keeps you alive, Mine is HIV medication, Truvada and Viramune. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 medications, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supplements. 4 right now, but there's actually 5. It's supposed to be 5 there, but 4. Counter the effects of the HIV and the medications as well. I mean, the medications, when I started taking them, I put 60 pounds of weight on right away. Bam! I was like, oh no, I can't do this. That sucked. Scared one of my friends away from the medications because she was already overweight, and she was like, oh man, I can't do that. I go, it doesn't react the same way with everybody. I'm weird. Freaking, I got a real high tolerance to certain things, man. That's why I was using meth like a psycho freak. man, because I have such a high tolerance to stuff. And, you know, medications, aspirins, people take, all the time I take 4-leaf. They say, oh no, take 2 or you'll die. And I'm like, oh, get out of here with that crazy nonsense. Besides, there's a shield around me anyway, and things don't work the same way it does with me, that it does with normal, average, everyday people. It just doesn't, it just doesn't. Been proven to me over the years, and I've been seeing it's always in my face, because here I am, I live in my body, I know who I am, blah, you know. So I used to tell my mom, get away, get back with your nonsense, it doesn't work for me. It's okay, I'll take your advice, but don't get all bent out of shape if I don't use it, you know, because it's my prerogative. My body, my mind, my life, I am me, I am Daniel, love me or hate me, I don't care. I'd rather have you love me. Bad enough hate, you know, and I don't hate anybody at all. I read the Bible and expound on what I know from that, and expound on things that Jesus has shown me, but I don't hate anybody, not at all. Actually, I used to. When I was a Christian, I did. I hated a lot of people that I had an encounter with Jesus a few years back, about, it's 2009, 10, 2011, 2012. It started in 2009, right after. Matter of fact, it started when I went on vacation. I think it was 2009 or 10. I don't remember which one it was, but that year I wrote a song. It's in my catalog of songs here on my broadcasting channel. Breathe into me, or breathe into my dreams, or something like that. Anyway, it's Trinidad, California, the coast, Northern California coast. Rev.ddt, and I just write it in. It's probably under Mr. DDT, because back then I wasn't Mr., not Reverend. A lot of things have changed over the years. But from that point on, I had visitations from angels, and having out-of-body experiences while I've been worshiping. Where did I get all these songs from? I just pray and ask, and I get all this stuff. But there are certain things I just haven't got the answer to yet. Not yet, but I know I will. Because the Lord's leading me. It's not like He's saying no. He's just saying, let me do it for you. Like Psalm 23, it's all about Him taking care of us. Not what we can do for Him, but what He's done for us. That's what the emphasis isn't on what you can do for Jesus. It's what He's done for you. And if you get that backwards and start living that way, I can screw you up. Screwed me up, had me confused the whole time. It's one of the other things He straightened out. Living the right way. Live from the inside out, don't live from the outside in. You'll have success, even if you don't even have outward success. Even if you're poor, you'll still have success. Because you'll be doing what He asked you, what He actually saved you for. Live as a disciple. Become His disciple like He wants you to. Leave everything else behind and go be His disciple. Go out in the desert if you have to. Go on the mountain if you have to. Get away from everything if you have to. Or go like He did with me, put you right in the middle of chaos and then plant a seed. And then make it grow. He goes and breathes on it, and it's like, whoa, Lord, you know. Blew me away what He's done. I have to get some water here. My medications make my throat dry, not my mouth, but my throat. So I'll sip a little bit here. We're going to get going here in a second. This song is about this. It came from that heart where I can relate to people that are poor. I really can. I can relate to people that are wounded and hurting and don't have any way to, and nobody to help them, and no way to actually help themselves. You know, I can relate to that. You know, Jesus said He came here to help those that couldn't help themselves, and then He raised up some apostles to go and heal a bunch of people and to spread that around so that they could actually help people, and they did do that. They healed and they did all kinds of stuff, taught people, they did all kinds of stuff. It's not just for healing, it's actually this breakthrough anointing. It breaks through in every area. I help a lot of people in those areas, and it does come back on me. And maybe the Lord is keeping me poor for a season or two for a reason. Maybe He's showing me that there's another way for a while, you know. And then maybe I will step into that one big, but it doesn't matter whether I step into that big dream or not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. What matters is what we're doing along the way. See, if you get so caught up in the fact that you haven't got to your dream yet, you're too caught up in the wrong thing. You're not caught up in the Lord. You're not dwelling on that. You're dwelling on your dream. You should stop doing that. Start dwelling on Him, because that's what you're going to miss the ride. You can have a much more pleasant ride too if you dwell on Him, and it's a much more pleasant ride when you fellowship with Him every day. It's a much more pleasant ride when you listen to Him and do what He says. It's a much more pleasant ride, and as you grow and mature, He'll trust you with more things, and you can do more things than what you did when you were younger, just like when you were a little kid, and you had some responsibilities so you could get that allowance, right? They trusted you with more, right? The more you did, the more the allowance got. In some houses it got real big, some not real big, but that still is a structure that came from heaven. This is wisdom. It comes from heaven, so listen. This is searching for Mr. Greensleeves. Okay, here we go. Broken tree, feeling its demise. The puzzled look on your face. This poem too sublime. Dancing in circles again, wandering around this place. Of Mr. Greensleeves. He was a hit at the parade. Just out of reach. Just out of reach. Just out of reach. Mr. Greensleeves. Mr. Greensleeves, yeah, yeah. I knocked the door opens, I look inside. Looking for you, Mr. Greensleeves. You are nowhere to be found. Even the whisper of your name is like a shadow dancing around, around, around. Just out of reach. Just out of reach. I keep missing you, missing you. Seems like you're just out of reach. Mr. Greensleeves, Mr. Greensleeves, Mr. Greensleeves. Yeah. it's like sometimes some things are like they're just out of reach, you know. And we have to wait sometimes. Sometimes we don't even catch up to some of the things that we desire in life. Sometimes those desires actually change, or what I like to call get remodified. You know, it's like just the way it is, you know. But it's actually not about what we really lay hold of. It's actually about the journey, really, you know. And what we gain in the journey is, you can't even, it's priceless. There's nothing you can compare to it. Nothing. It's priceless. And for me, walking with Jesus on the journey has made all the difference in the world, even through the hard times. I mean, believe me, there were times where I was shaking my fist saying, you know, well, you don't want to hear what I was saying, but, you know, saying some pretty mean things to him. And he still forgave me, still hangs out with me, still talks to me. You know how I know he's forgiven me? Because he hangs out and talks with me. Man, you know, fellowships with me, communities. Like he says in the Bible. You become his disciple and get close to him. You want to know how you do that? You fall in love with his heart. You fall in love with his heart through the Gospels. Why? This is what you do. You get up every morning, seeking him. The first thing you do in the morning is get up and wake yourself up. Rub all the crap out of your eyes. If you have to take a shower, do it. Do it with him, though. Wake up, sing it if you have to. Get your heart right. Be happy about waking up today, you know. And go over and sit down. Even if you have to do it early before you go to work, go over and sit down and give the first part of the day to him. Okay? How much ever time that is. If you have to work, maybe it's 15 minutes, but you have that time. And you cut it out and you let nothing else in. Believe me, when you cut that time out, something else will come in. Like your wife might show up, your phone might ring, whatever. You just got to block it all out and run everybody off if you have to. Jesus said if you don't hate your mother and father and brother and all that, you know, I mean, you read it for yourself. It's in the Gospels. Over loving him, you know, over your love for him. If you love anything else more than him, to the point that you need to hate it and reject even yourself, even hate yourself, to die to yourself to be with him. Okay? And just do that. And carve out that devotion time and spend that time just a little bit. And I'll tell you what, it'll grow. It started with me 15 minutes. That's how much time I had. And then I decided I was going to make myself have a half hour no matter what. So I got up earlier. Then I realized I could do 45 minutes. Then I realized I could get up a little earlier. I was having so much energy. By the time I got into where I could sit for an hour in his presence and just sit with him and do Bible studies and devotional times with my Bible with just him, just for an hour, when I could do that, I did that for a few years, and it was amazing because I did that while I was working. You know, I was doing some crazy stuff too. Like at one point, I was out partying at night and stuff, and I'd still come. You know, and on the weekends, I'd still get up and go and do my Bible studies in the morning. You know, I'd feel like crap. I'd feel like crap about partying and stuff, and wasting my life and wasting my money. But I needed relief, man. I had no relief. I was a poor guy, and I had to work it was from freaking hand to mouth, man. That's how I've had to live my whole life. Because I've never been able to actually have a good education and a good enough education to do anything. And now that I'm out of debt, it costs too much to go to school. I tried to get that, and they'll only give me $10,000 for a grant, by the way. And I already looked. I've done all the stuff. People will say, "Well, go to the school and they'll help you." I did all that. They helped me. That's all they could get me. $10,000, and the rest I had to take out the student loans, and I'm not going into debt again for no education. No way. It's not worth it. Especially when the damn education changes and you don't even know if you can go get a job with it. Most of my friends that got educations, they had to get re-educated. One of my buddies in his 50s is in a nursing program. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope he's got the strength to do this. I pray for him every day because I hope he has the wisdom and the strength, because that nursing school is hard stuff, man. If you don't even, especially if you've never done it before, you know. You know, I'm kind of stuck. I got broken up wrists. My wrists are about the most I can do is this and drive a car and do a few chores around here, and that's it, man. Run some errands for some people every once in a while. I do that, and sometimes they'll give me a $20 bill and say, "Here you go, Aaron." And I'm like, "Okay, cool, thanks." You know, it's really cool to get a gift of $20 and you can put in your gas tank for running somebody an errand or whatever. I help elderly people out. I help neighbors that are shut into their houses. I call them homebound. I help them because they need help, and I'm here and I'm during the day and I have a car I can drive, so I figure I can help them. You know, my car's not that nice and I can't do Uber. And I don't have the money to do that either. So it's anyway. Just the car is like anyway, whatever. I'm not going to talk about that. But what I'm talking about though is just being poor and having things that are out of reach. There's things you want to do, but you can't. Even I would love to do Uber if I had a new car, I would. Or a newer car, 2006, they were better, I would. I'd get a smartphone. I'd have to pay to get a smartphone, but I'd actually do that. I could do one more monthly payment on something and for $40 a month or $45 a month or something, and do get an Uber app or whatever, do that. But I think it's illegal, and I'm not even sure it's illegal here. I don't even know if you could do that. But see, so it's like, okay, well, yeah, these are ideas, though. They're ideas that came out of just sitting there praying and going, hey man, I need help. And I started an errand running business, and it's not really doing really well, but it's only been up for a few weeks, so who knows if it might take off, I don't know. Maybe after this video it will. I don't need to do a lot of errands, I just need to supplement my income a little bit because $748 a month is not very much. I pay $150 a month in rent, and then I have, I don't have any debt, but I have other things I pay for. My insurance, I pay for my my medications, I pay for I pay for stuff, out of that money. I have to live too on it. You have to pay for extra stuff like you got to pick your teeth. If you're in your 50s, you need to take care of your teeth. I use floss picks on my teeth, and I'm constantly at 3 bags a month, man. And I have a stash of them because I bought 6 bags in 1 month, so I have a few extras. So in case I run out, but I don't because I don't have money comes. But I never know if they're going to shut off Social Security. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that or not. So I'm looking for something else. Believe me, I am. I don't want to work for a job for another company because, quite frankly, I can't work under a time frame. It makes me sick, physically sick. I can't handle pressure, the pressure of the boss breathing down your throat, a deadline, shit like that. I can't deal with it. I can't handle it. But I can do other things, spiritual things like, I do talk to people and pray with them constantly. I help people that are suffering, with grief and suffering with illnesses. I pray for them, and some of them get healed. And every single time I prayed for somebody, they've actually felt better the next day when I followed up with them, because I get their number to follow up with them. Unless I'm on the street and I can't get their number, and then I can't follow up with them. But most of the time, I end up following up with them because I'm in my neighborhood. I can only walk so far, and I run into the same people, and they walk outside their houses limping. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And so because God told me that if I see somebody that's limping or somebody that's hurting, then to ask him, and then if he says yes, then I'll go over and pray for him. And then, believe me, he has said no a few times. And I thought, well, why is he doing that? And then I don't know if it has to do with their soul purpose, or if it has to do with, they're learning from it. They may want to learn from it, and it may just be that it's just not time. They're not ready for it. They block it. Maybe it would push them away from him, or who knows? I don't know, but he does. But you got to listen to the Spirit and be Spirit-led. That's what it means to be Spirit-led. It doesn't mean to be Bible-led. It means to be Spirit-led. Listen, because the Father will say things to you. Just like the Holy Spirit, you'd say, oh, how he would do that. Yes, he would. Ephesus, Paul wanted to go to Ephesus, but that guy from Macedonia showed up in his dream and, showed up and said, please come here. The Holy Spirit was holding them back from 2 or 3 places. Actually, there's a list. There was 5 places, I think, on the list. But it was over in that area region, in the Ephesus area. They wanted to go to that area. It might have been Ephesus. I don't think it was. It might have been some other cities. But he wanted to go to this area, and the Holy Spirit held him back from doing that. You think the Holy Spirit would do something like that? I do. It's written down in your Bibles. He would. Because there is really a timing with God, and there are things that some people, they want to have the illness that they have. I've ran into people that have said, no, I'm learning from it, and I'd rather learn from it. And I'm like, wow, you're very strong. Most people want to end their suffering. Like me, I did too. But then I started learning from my suffering so much. I've learned so much from it that I'm like, well, one or the other. It's like, okay, you're poor, but that's okay. I'm rich in other areas. I'm rich in spiritual areas. I've had flat-out visitations with the Lord. I've had flat-out visitations right here in this room with angels, right here on this property, right out while I was walking around this city, and also while I'm traveling. Started when I went on vacation. I never really talked about that, but we had some pretty cool times, actually. One time on the beach, I was laying down on this, it was really cool. Agate Beach. I actually have pictures of it right over here on the wall, right back over here. But it's black and white. I took of it. Pretty cool from above. It's a crescent shape. It's really neat. But had an encounter with an angel there on that beach, and it was pretty cool. I was laying down there letting I put all the sparkly rocks on me, on my face and on my body, and was laying in the sun like this. And I didn't have it. I just shoved my arms into the sand and my legs into the sand and just laid there. I laid like that. I didn't have very many on me. It was sparkly, but if anybody was above me, I was thinking, I wonder if they see sparkles of blue and green and yellow sparkling off this crystal, these rocks that are all shiny and sparkly, you know. So when I picked them up into the sunlight and went like this, you could just see it just sparkly. It was so pretty. It was all these colors. It was so beautiful. And when I was doing that, I was laying there. I sat up and I grabbed the rocks and I sat up and they're in between my legs. I grabbed them, I threw them up in the air and I was watching them as they land. And then, you know, coming down as they were coming down. And right on the other side of it, I saw an angel. I was like, whoa. I threw him up again. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I threw it up again. He was standing right there. I was like, whoa. This big, huge, you know, he's, wow. And then he came towards me and then I laid down and I was like, I don't know if I passed out or what, but I felt like I was floating in. Next thing I felt like I was floating in a liquid or something. And I was like, I didn't even feel like I was on the ground at all. I just felt like I was floating as he came up to me and he bent down and put his hands on my chest. And I could see the fluctuation in the air as his hands came down. I couldn't see his hands very well. Man, boy, I closed my eyes. I could see everything. I closed my eyes and I see this white light just blam right in my face, and these two hands come out of it, and just wow, it was wild, man. It was just wild. And anyway, I'm laying there on my ground, on my back, and I'm thinking, I wonder where I'm at. I didn't even know I was on my back. I was like, I wonder where I am. What is this floating? Where am I? And then all of a sudden, bam! I snapped out, and it was like he was gone. It just instant, just boom, like boom, gone. I'm like, oh wow, that was really cool. And you know, it was really strange because on that vacation, God gave me a couple things to do. He actually had me leave the day I had me leave because I had to meet somebody in that city right up there, Crescent City. That's it, up there by the bay, up on the harbor. And I did actually met her. Her name was Dorothy, a lady named Dorothy. I had to pray for her. But he had also had me. Right after that encounter on that beach that very night, I talked to two gals on another beach while I was getting some night videos and some night shots, and they were sitting on this log. I didn't even see them sitting there. They're kind of near me, but all of a sudden I heard them talking when everything got quiet after I settled down, and there they were. And so I got to witness to them and pray for both of them, and it was really cool. It was beautiful. It was really cool. It was a whole thing that just started happening right after that. I was on that vacation, man, and I don't share a lot of this with everybody. I just share part of the vacation because, you know, I never really like to share those stories to have everybody all go, oh, and believe because of the story, right? You're supposed to believe because of your own faith, not because of my story, okay? Not because you develop your own stories with God so that you believe. I had issues with faith, okay? I had issues with God. I had issues with Jesus. I had issues with the church. I still have issues with the church. I don't have issues with God, and I don't have any issues with Jesus at all. But it's not the church I have the issues with. I have the issues with the way the church treats people, but I'm talking about the leadership, and I'm not really talking about the wolves, actually. So I'm not really talking about the church, so I really don't have an issue with the church, really. I have an issue with churchianity. Well, what I have an issue with is I have an issue with a lot of organized religions in this world, and it's not just Christianity, okay? Because there's a lot of them that even in the countries where those organized religions are, those organized religions cause people to hate people of their own country, their own brothers and sisters of their own blood, flesh and blood native people. It causes you to do that, and that's wrong. Religion should never do that. And if it is, you know what pure religion is? Showing up in time of need. That's it. The Good Samaritan. What James said, showing up when widows and orphans in their time of need, you know? Showing up like the Good Samaritan, like Jesus talked about. Not being a bullheaded religious snob and walking away and saying, oh, I can't touch him. Or being like in some societies where there's a caste society where they think that because they're born into a rich family, they've been reincarnated so many times that they're in that family, and that's why they're in that family, and they can be snobbish and hateful towards other people of lower classes, like even the guy that gets the rat out of their basement. That guy's a valuable dude, and you guys are stinking screwed up. That's messed up. Gandhi had an issue with that, and he's one of your own people. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know, and I hear, you know, I read, I share, I study, I know, I go out and meet people, and I don't run into a lot of people of other cultures that are mean to me. and I don't like to be mean to anybody, but man, if your culture is like teaching you anything other than agape love for everybody, including God, and especially for yourself and your neighbor and your family and your friends and those people of your own country, you know, especially if anybody, we're all humans, we're all brothers and sisters, you know. Do you not see this? We're all brothers and sisters, whether we have a different skin color or not. We're all human. We all enter the world the same way, except like Jesus and a few of the other avatars, you know. A few of the other avatars, I'm saying manifestations of God in the flesh, which there have been. God has manifested himself as an angel a few times, manifested himself as a burning bush once, manifested himself as, well, anyway, all over the place. What are you going to do with your life, man? How are you going to live your life? You're going to live your life where you live your life like I used to live my life, where I was a taker and mean, you know, just a real bad person, or are you going to live a good, rich life, you know? I don't live that way now. I live a good, rich life now because I had to learn how, but I learned how. And if I can be taught, you can be taught, because I'm the dog that couldn't be taught, you know? Yeah, I called myself a dog, but this is just for the sake of this conversation, because I don't see myself as a dog at all. No. I see myself as a son of God. And if you think I'm a smart ass, it's only because it's the way I look. Just look at me, just for a few seconds. I'm not smiling either or smirking. Now I am. You see, I kind of have a twist here going on here, and it just looks like I'm smirking. I'm not. I didn't know this, but I used to get beat up for it. But now I know, because when I got older and then I got fat and then lost a bunch of weight, and then now I'm older so I can see my wrinkles, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm all twisted. So my ribs are all messed up too. It's all messed up, man. And you know, that wasn't from fighting either. I used to protect that area for some reason, but it was my diaphragm, right here, what's protected, it sticks out. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. But the thing is that, you know, sometimes we come into the world with kind of, you know, defected, right? You know, we're messed up. Check this out, man. You want to see something cool? I got split. I got toes right here that won't separate. One time I was at a friend's house, and her daughter grabbed my toes, and I was like, I was sitting on her bed, right? We were just kicking back, just talking, and her daughter was sitting on the floor, and she's playing, and she looked over, saw my toes, started playing with my feet, and then grabbed my toes, and was like, I was like, yeah! Jeez, kid. She tried to rip my toes apart. She goes, Mommy, they won't come apart. I'm like, I know, they won't, because that's, you know, that's the way I was born, you know? That's how we are. Oh, no, Dan doesn't mean that he's weird, I've been hearing that my whole life. How are you going to handle that when you hear it? You know, I used to handle it really rottenly. You know, bad. Ego. You know, ego on roids, right? I wasn't on roids back then, but I was just saying, you know, the ego's like on maxed out on ego, right? You know, not anymore. Peace. That'll happen because of Jesus. Let him lead you where he wants to take you, because he wants to take you somewhere very special, just for you and him. And then what you'll do from that point on in your life, well, I hope you leave a YouTube video about some of it, because I'd like to see it myself. You guys have a great day. Peace out, baby. Bye-bye.